Good afternoon, dear listeners and viewers of Equinoxe Multimedia. Thanks for joining us on today's edition of the program You Unheard. Good afternoon, Immaculate Fogwe.
Good afternoon to you, AC Luciliangu. Good afternoon to all our televiewers and, of course, our listeners. Today, we are going to be returning the same guest we had last week, and that's no other person than Dr. Philbert Eko. He is a community and reproductive health specialist. He's equally the regional delegate for public health in the Southwest region.
And of course, last week we focused on the different delivery methods that exist, and due to time constraint, we were unable to respond to all our questions. And of course, today we are going to be continue to respond to our questions. Good afternoon, Doctor.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Osmo, and good afternoon to our fervent listeners.
Thanks for joining us on today's program once again. For the sake of those who didn't watch or listen to the program last week, can you please brief us on the different delivery methods that exist?
Okay, thank you once more. I think in two words, we just say there are two types: the surgical method, which we often call cesarean section, and the vaginal method. Vaginally, it can be breech, that is coming out with the legs, or cephalic with the head. The same as it can be instrumental, that's using instruments to pull out the baby, or it can be spontaneous. So in short, those are the different methods of delivery.
Okay, Doctor, we coming back to the worry of many women out there who are eager to know why the rate of C-section has drastically increased recently in Cameroon. What accounts for this, Doctor?
Thank you. That's the thing. But I just think it's an observation. In principle, for us to reduce maternal deaths, it means death of a woman in course of a pregnancy or delivery, or within a period after delivery. One of the measure methods to reduce that death is to have a cesarean section rate of about 15%.
Okay.
15% of deliveries. Mm-hmm. So Cameroon is at 4% now. We've not reached the minimum level of 5% that is indicated by WHO. So saying that cesarean section, yes, it might be increased more than what it was before, because you have many specialists now who take time to post proper diagnosis, and you have many different types of indications now in such a way that we want to limit complications that women and children will have. I think that is what might have increased the number of cesarean sections as it was before, but we've not even reached the standards of WHO that could reduce the number of women who can die in course of a delivery. I want to say that Cameroon is one of the countries with the highest maternal mortality rates in the world. I don't know whether it is one of it directly linked to a low rate of cesarean section. But I want to think that we have to even do more than what we are doing. In some hospitals, you can go up to about 25% in referral hospitals. But I think in the general scope of Cameroon, we need to improve our cesarean rate.
Talking about the cesarean rate, what are some complications that may occur after a C-section?
Yes, you said, thank you very much again. As we said the other time, the complications can be immediate. It can be short-term, it can be long-term. Immediate complications might directly link to your surgery, the same as it might directly link to the anesthesia that you used. I was telling you the other time that we have general anesthesia that can be given, and they can give you induction of general anesthesia and you don't get up. They can give you general anesthesia and you have brain problems. There are other types of anesthesia that we give on the back that also we call spinal anesthesia or peridural. All of these also have complications that can arise. As we said, the surgery itself, you can have trauma to injuries around. That's intestines, the bladder, the rectum, and all other organs around you. You might traumatize these organs within and during the time of your surgery. The same, after closure, you might have severe hemorrhage, severe bleeding because of the surgery that you cannot arrest. And you might lose the patient, or you might be forced to transfuse high pints of blood to bring back this patient. You might have short-term complications after you have finished your cesarean session. These short-term complications might be you developing what we call a thromboembolic disease, which is a clot that you might have, and the clot might move in any part of your body and cause you other complications. You might develop an infection, and this infection might be mild, might be moderate, it might be severe. You might also have problems in the wound to heal. The wound might not heal. So all these are complications. The same as you might even injure the baby in course of your cesarean session. You have an injury on the baby, and the baby might come out with a very large wound on the part that the blade might have. And so the same as you might have fracture of an arm of the baby when you're doing an extraction. And so there are many different types of complications that can occur in course of the cesarean session or after a cesarean session.
Talking about this long-term and short-term complications, does the hospital you go to and the type of doctor who works on you matter?
Obviously, it will matter. It is not because you are put on the bed and operated, that's meaning that the person who is operating on you will do carry out a good job. Of course, we have our different qualifications, we have our different capacities and skills. So obviously, the doctor also has the part to play. And not just the surgeon, as I said, you have the anesthetist and you have the surgeon. So both of them have parts to play with respect to the success of the surgery.
Last time, due to time constraints, we were unable to take a lot of calls. So today we give the opportunity to all our listeners and viewers for you to participate on today's program. You can call the following number 670-5470-49. I repeat, 670-5470-49 or 656-622222. I still repeat, 656-622222. Those are the different numbers you can call and participate on today's edition of the program.
And doctor, how many children can a woman have after having a C-section? Like, how many children can a woman really have? We are really eager to know that.
Yeah, I know that in Africa we want a large number.
Of course.
That's what makes us.
Children. Yes, but I want to assure you that you can have as many children as you want after a cesarean session.
No.
Even though a cesarean session might limit also your number of children depending on the complications that you might have after that cesarean session. And again, a cesarean session is a risk factor for you to have another cesarean session. So you see that it is not the fact that you have a cesarean session that will cause us to limit your number of delivery. There are surrounding factors. Of course, there are people who have had 10 children after a cesarean session, and there is no problem about that. What is important is to know whether your uterus is still good enough to carry another baby, whether your abdomen is still clean enough if they have to do another cesarean session, if the surgeon who will not have a lot of serious problems to carry out that cesarean session. When you have these two factors and the two factors are good enough, then we can permit you to have another child and another child and another child until you feel satisfied with the number of children that you have. But we used to say we're limiting you to 3, but 3 is not the limited number. You can go far above 3 depending on surrounding situations.
Okay, doctor, what are some of the do and the don'ts after having a C-section?
There is nothing very special. Thank you very much. I think this is a pertinent question. There is nothing very, very special after a cesarean session. Some women will tell you sexual intercourse and so on. And no, we can limit. Because of some specific situations, conditions that are pertaining to you, we can give you specific instructions. But in a general situation, there is no specificity. Immediately you have your cesarean session, immediately your wound has healed, there is nothing that we can give you as a specific type of instruction that you don't or you have to do for you to be different, because you are not a different person. You are the same like any other person insofar as your wound has healed. You can do everything like any other woman.
Talking about the wound healing, how long does this wound take to heal?
The wound, in principle, we have the post-delivery period that we call the postpartum. The postpartum is 6 weeks. The wound outwardly can heal after 7 days. But for us to be sure that the wound has healed completely from the outside right to the inside, we advise that you stay for about a month. A month, that is at least 4 weeks, for us to believe that your wound has healed completely from the outside to inside. But the outside part of the wound, the skin of the wound, after 7 days, we remove your stitches and the wound has healed and you move like any other person. But you cannot move and start doing sporting activities because you might cause a problem with the inside part of the wound that has not completely healed. So we advise that you stay for about a month before attempting serious sporting activities such that your wound can heal better.
Doctor, we know pregnant women have this absurd craving sometimes. And now we want to know, does the diet matter when pregnant?
These are superstitious. We don't usually advise a special type of diet during pregnancy. We advise within or without pregnancy, you need to eat proper balanced diet. So that is just all. We don't advise. We might advise that you don't eat a lot of fatty food, which is still a normal advice that will give you out of pregnancy. But maybe in pregnancy we will enforce on that you don't eat a lot of fatty foods. Because, of course, if you eat a lot of fatty food, the tendency is that the baby can grow too big. But we don't limit or give you a special type of diet that you take, except you have other conditions. But if it's just for your pregnancy, we might not give you a special type of diet to take.
Okay, doctor. What are some of the common mistakes most women do when they are pregnant?
I guess we'll have a call on the line. We'll take this caller before coming back to you, doctor. Hello?
Yes, hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Your name, where you're calling from, and your question.
Okay, this is Happiness from Banana.
Okay.
Okay, actually, presently my wife is pregnant, and I want to ask a question. I don't know if I may ask it in French.
Okay, just try. We'll see how we can do the translation
Okay,
then.
okay, let me just try in English.
Good.
The issue is that this will be her fifth pregnancy that always induce her
Okay.
in comprimé to induce her, because they say the call, what they call in French, call is so strong. And now like this, she's actually pregnant again. She's about 8 months. But no, 39 weeks. I mean, she's 39 weeks. And we don't know what to do for that. Really liberate, open by itself, so that at least she will give birth now
Normally.
freely as normal women.
Okay. We'll be answering that question soon. Thank you for participating on the program. Dr. Philbert, I guess you must have heard that question.
I didn't get it very well. I got that the wife has a strong cervix and
Exactly.
she's 39 weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
But I
And that
didn't get
she's always
how many children does she have already?
Because he said this is a fifth
Fifth
time.
time.
This is a fifth time.
This is the fifth time.
Exactly. And they
Number
always
5.
induce her before she's able to give birth.
But she gives birth vaginally.
Yeah, I think so. From what he has said,
But
it's
induced.
vaginally.
But
Induced.
If she gives birth vaginally, that is first of all very good. But I want to advise. I would have liked to also ask him a question whether he has regular intercourse with the wife.
I see.
Because some of us think that when we are pregnant, we have to stop intercourse. Instead, it's a very good method to prepare your cervix for delivery. Sperm has what we call prostaglandins, and prostaglandins are one of the hormones that helps to make the cervix mature. So we don't prohibit sexual intercourse during pregnancy, except there is a specific medical condition. But if not, we even encourage that the man should persistently have unprotected sexual intercourse with the wife right till the day of delivery. It helps to prepare the vagina, to prepare the cervix for delivery.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Time constraint. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Doctor, for taking part in today's edition. Thank you very much, Immaculate Fogwe, dear listeners and viewers. Thank you for joining us, and of course, we'll meet again next week, Thursday, same time. Bye bye.
God willing.
God willing, of course.